Hello everybody, my name is ProfRich, also known as Teacher Rich. We are here to talk about how language affects the brain. Smash that like button and hit subscribe and let's get started. So, to begin with, what do you think? Type your answers in the chat. 1, 2, 3. Number 1, it's better to learn languages as a child than an adult. What do you think about that? Type your answers in the chat. It's better to learn languages as a child than an adult. Give me your opinion now in the chat. Maybe I reappear and just go a bit smaller. I'll go into the top right over here. Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Hey, have you smashed that like button? Are you subscribed? Go for it. You've arrived at the best English learning channel on the internet. And I asked you, have you noticed your brain getting better by learning English? 90% says yes, it's great, and 9% say no, you're crazy. Thank you for that, thanks. That's very nice of you. Very nice of you to say I'm crazy. All right. So Sleepwalker says, yes, I think it's better to learn languages as a child because you have a lot of time. That's true. That is very true. So adults don't have so much time because, hey, you're working, right? You've got responsibilities. You have children maybe. You have a wife or a husband or whatever. Plenty of things to do. Maybe you've got 27 kids like me. Little Tarquin, calm down, I'm streaming. Tarquin, he's 2 years old and he still interrupts my English streams. How's everybody doing today? Hello, Elena Anisimova says, yes, I agree. As a child, you can learn a language faster. Can you? Anawat says, definitely. I heard that language skills develop well up until 9 years old. Interesting. Children remember faster. It's true, says Dreamer. Yeah. Remember, the question, though, is it better to learn languages as a child? Not, is it quicker? Not just, is it quicker? I want to know, is it better? Is it all better? Could there be any advantage for an adult to learn a language? Any advantage? Number 2. Once we have artificial intelligence translation, there is no point in learning English. What do you think? What do you think about number 2? Once we have AI, we don't need to learn English. Sleepwalker says number 2, I don't agree. I don't think we should rely only on artificial intelligence. Julia Hatata says, I beg to differ. Language is a lifelong journey, and the first-hand experience is way better than other techniques. Interesting. I Love Sunshine says, teacher didn't ask me if I'm happy or not. Are you happy? How are you doing, I Love Sunshine? Are you happy? Where are you from? That's a nice name. I also love sunshine. And so does Tarquin. Don't you, Tarquin? It's okay. He's only 2 years old. He can't speak yet. Be quiet. I'm sorry if you can hear Tarquin crying. You would think a 2-year-old wouldn't cry so much. Come now, Tarquin. It's easy to make a proper accent learning a language as a child. That's true, Mina, and there's an important reason for that. It's because until we are 6 years old, we have the ability to distinguish every phoneme in every language. However, by the time we reach 6 years old, we lose the ability to differentiate every phoneme. And so we have to then relearn how to differentiate phonemes as adults. And that's difficult. Children are much better at that. Let's have a look at number 3. Number 3 says, learning languages is like doing sports for your brain. And Pallavi says, yes, it can be true. You think so, Pallavi? Manuel Gordillo says, second one, I have a strong aversion to the use of AI in teaching foreign language. Do you, Manuel? I use AI to teach all the time. I used AI to help me make this stream. Did you know that? And Julia, responding to number 3, says, I'll sit on the fence for this one. That's the expression, Julia. I'll sit on the fence for this one, as I'm not sure it's the same as doing sports for your brain. Okay. And Mehmed Tekin says, of course, when you're a child, learning languages is better, but this is not something we have in our hands. Yeah, that's right. Other people make that decision for you. Children don't make many decisions about what they do. Those decisions are, quite rightly, made by adults. Children do not have the capacity to make decisions for themselves. All right, well, that gets us thinking about the topic. Today's topic is, or whatever. Today's topic is the benefits of learning English. Subject-verb agreement, folks. Today's topic is the benefits of learning English. By the way, smash that like button. We have 18 likes and we have 30 people watching. So hit the like button, hit subscribe, and welcome to ProfRich English. Today we're talking about the benefits of learning English. We are going to discuss learning languages. We've done it. Finished. Next, we're going to learn vocabulary related to brain benefits. We're really focusing on brain benefits today. We're going to practice listening. We're going to practice describing a graph. That's useful for IELTS Task 1 writing. So we're going to practice describing a graph, which is useful for IELTS Task 1 writing. We're going to practice our memory. We're going to check homework from last week. So on this channel, I set homework every week and we check the homework live on stream. We check your English homework. That means you need to record an audio speaking English, send it in. You can send it in on our Discord server to me, and then I will play that live and we do some corrections and feedback. We will do that at the end of today's class. And then finally, you can ask questions about learning English. Are you ready to get started? So we're going to start by talking about learning vocabulary related to brain benefits. I'm going to show you 8 pictures. I'm going to show you 8 pictures and I'm going to show you 8 phrases, and I want you to match the pictures to the phrases. You got that? I want you to match the pictures to the phrases. We're learning English vocabulary. Match the pictures to the phrases. So 1 to 8, match those to A to H. Look at the pictures, look at the phrases. We're learning English vocabulary. Match the English phrases to the pictures. All of these English phrases relate to the topic of brain benefits. And they also relate specifically to the brain benefits you get from learning a language, obviously, because that's what we're talking about today. I have my coffee. Hello. Sleepwalker says, Rich, which languages did you learn? And Pallavi gave a very good answer. Yeah, I can speak pretty good Spanish. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo está, amigo? ¿Cómo estás? Pues nos vamos a la playa. Hace sol, hace calor. Quiero ir a la playa. Okay, enough Spanish. I speak Spanish and I speak a bit of Vietnamese. I'm learning Vietnamese. Chập bưng đầm ơi. Chập bưng nái đập lập. Chập bưng, chập bưng. Come tick, come tick, come tick, come tick. That means I don't like it. Come tick. And ang dik means I like for a man. Ang dik cafe suda. Zwat. Ang dik cafe suda. That's I like sweet coffee in Vietnamese. I like sweet coffee. Yeah, so I'm learning Vietnamese. I speak Spanish. And I have a master's in applied linguistics. And a diploma in teaching English. And a degree in philosophy, if you must know. So the task right now is to match the 8 phrases. These are phrases which relate to brain benefits. Match the 8 phrases to the 8 pictures. And type your answers in the chat. We have a full set of answers from Dreamer. Well done, Dreamer. And Julia Hatar has joined in. 1H seems like a popular one. 1H, interesting. Do I agree with that? Yes, I think so. 2D. 2D or not 2D? 2D? No, 2 is not D. What does Dreamer say? Dreamer says 2E. Yes, 2E. Well done. 1H, 2E, 3. Yeah, 3A. Good job. Renit. Good job. Looking good. So we have 1H, 2E, 3A, 4. C, 5, D, 6, F, 7, G, and 8B. So let's get the answers. I'll put the answers down at the bottom for... Ooh! That did not mean to do that. Okay, let's get that off. How do you get rid of that? Bom. Okay, there we go. Developer mode, everybody. F12 if you're using Chrome. Press F12 instead of F11. Not a good idea. Let's go back. Right. So we wanted some answers. So the answers were 1H, 2E, 3A, 4, C, 5, D, 6, F, 7, G, and 8, B. Answers at the bottom of the notes. I will give you access to the notes at the end of class. So at the end of class, I will post a link so you can get access permanently to the notes from today's English learning class. We are focusing on learning grammar and vocabulary. Let's learn some vocabulary. Oops. There we go. How can learning a language boost your brain? A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. What are those terms there? A, B, C, D. How can learning a language boost your brain? A, B, C, D. How can learning a language boost your brain? Type your answers in the chat if you think you know what the missing letters are for those words. These are all strong collocations, that is useful language. Useful language. Type your answers there in the chat. And I'm just checking my notes for something. That's the wrong one. Where is it? Here. Gotcha. Great. Okay, yes, that's right. So we got cognitive flexibility, creative thinking, neuroplasticity, and problem-solving skills. Okay, so now... It's not going to work. Okay, now... Listen and match. So I'm going to read a paragraph about one of these skills, and I want you to type which one it is. A, B, C, or D. So listen and match. I'm going to read a paragraph, and you type in the chat A, B, C, or D. Are you ready? Cheng Tae's ready. Okay, let's go. Number 1. The constant navigation between different linguistic structures and vocabularies equips the mind with the agility to approach and resolve problems from various angles. This mental dexterity is not just confined to language-related tasks, but extends to all areas of thinking and reasoning. I'll say that again. Number 1. The constant navigation between different linguistic structures and vocabularies equips the mind with the agility to approach and resolve problems from various angles. This mental dexterity is not just confined to language-related tasks, but extends to all areas of thinking and reasoning. And we have people typing in the chat 1D, and that is correct. It is 1D. Well done. 1D. Okay, let's move on. Paragraph 2. The exposure to a wide range of language fosters a broader perspective, enabling your brain to generate new and different ideas. I'll say that again. The exposure to a wide range of language fosters a broader perspective, enabling your brain to generate new and different ideas. What do you think? Which one does that match to? You can type your answers in the chat right now. And if you're enjoying the stream, smash that like button, hit subscribe. My name is ProfRich, and we're talking about the benefits of learning a language. Pure Care says it's difficult. I'll read it once more, Pure Care, just for you. Number 2, the exposure to a wide range of language fosters a broader perspective, enabling your brain to generate new and different ideas. So the answer you should have to that one is creative thinking. So that's 2B. Oh, to be. To be. To be or not to be. Right, let's do Hamlet. Hamlet. Okay. To be or not to be. No. Let me try again. Oh, Yorick. To be or not to be. That is the question. Okay, that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. Well done, Rich. Do not ever play Hamlet. All right, I'm going to read paragraph 3. Are you ready? Type your answers in the chat. I will read paragraph 3. Number 3. Using 2 languages is like doing sport for your brain. You need to change positions for new situations. One moment you think in one language, then in another. This exercise makes your brain able to adapt quicker. I'll say that again. Using 2 languages is like doing sport for your brain. You need to change positions for new situations. One moment you think in one language, and then in another. This exercise makes your brain able to adapt quicker. And once more, using 2 languages is like doing sport for your brain. You need to change positions for new situations. One moment you think in one language, then in another. This exercise makes your brain able to adapt quicker. And the answer to that one is 3A. That is cognitive flexibility, which means that our last one is going to be neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, which means I'm going to give you a new task. The new task is listen and type the key words. Listen and type the key words. So, as you're listening, I want you to type the key words that you hear. As you're listening, I want you to type the key words you hear. Okay? All right. Paragraph 4. Language learning is a powerful stimulant for learning itself. As one acquires and uses a second language, the brain develops new neural pathways to accommodate the new linguistic information and skills. This adaptability contributes to overall brain health and can improve cognitive functions across various domains, particularly as you get older. I'll say that again. Language learning is a powerful stimulant for learning itself. As one acquires and uses a second language, the brain develops new neural pathways to accommodate the new linguistic information and skills. This adaptability contributes to overall brain health and can improve cognitive functions across various domains, particularly as you get older. So we've got some great language in the chat there. New neural pathways. Second language stimulates. Was it stimulant? Really? I thought it was stimulate. Oh, no, stimulants. You're right. Okay. So once more, language learning is a powerful stimulant for learning itself. As one acquires and uses a second language, the brain develops new neural pathways to accommodate the new linguistic information and skills. This adaptability contributes to overall brain health and can improve cognitive functions across various domains, particularly as you get older. All right, folks, you can see there is the script that I just read. So you can have a look at all those paragraphs. All of those will be available in the notes, and I will share the notes with you at the end of class, okay? So we've been talking about how learning a language can boost your brain, and this is particularly applicable to adults. Now, let's talk a bit about neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is something I find very interesting. Everybody, I want you to say it now. Say it. Neuroplasticity. There's an interesting English vocabulary. Let's do some English pronunciation. Neuroplasticity. 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 So plasticity is the ability to shape and change form and bend, right? Neuroplasticity. Plasticity is we change things, change the shape and bend. Neuro is the brain, right? So neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to change shape and bend, not literally, not physically, but figuratively, right? So in fact, neuroplasticity is the ability to do new habits and change the way you think. So learn new things, learn a new language, learn a new skill, change your habits, etc., etc. In general, babies like Tarquin have very high neuroplasticity. And as we get older, our neuroplasticity decreases. Actually, that's not entirely true. Babies age 0, perhaps it's not quite right to say that they have very high neuroplasticity because babies can't exactly learn a language yet. So you can see here a little graph, and this graph shows neuroplasticity over time. I would like you to try and describe this graph. So I want you to explain this graph in the chat. This is very similar to a Task 1 IELTS writing. So this is a Task 1 IELTS writing example. I'd like you to try and explain this graph in the chat. Use your English vocabulary and your English learner skills to try and explain what is this graph and what do you understand from this graph. Answers in the chat, which is over there on PC and down there on mobile devices. And after you've had a go, in about 3 or 4 minutes, I'll tell you what I understand from this graph. Let's see what we get here. Pallavi says, that's great, Pallavi. Come on, it's not that complicated, Pallavi. Come on. Aulia says, I feel grateful that I'm quite passionate in learning another language after knowing about neuroplasticity. Thank you for the knowledge that you've shared, ProfRich. Thank you, Aulia. That is such a lovely thing to say. And thank you and welcome to the channel. I don't think I've seen you before. All you new people watching right now, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Welcome to ProfRich English. You have found the best channel for learning English on the internet. We've been here for 12 years, but we're just getting started, baby. Maria del Carmen says, there's a graph about neuroplasticity along one life existence. Neuroplasticity has a peak at the beginning of life and later decreases to the old age. Okay, Maria del Carmen, I don't totally agree with what you said. You have some ideas that are interesting. Zainab says, in the early childhood, learning is easy. Something like that. So Pallavi doesn't like graphs. Okay. Sleepwalker says, as can be seen from the graph, the highest rate of plasticity is observed during a person's growing up period. I quite like that, Sleepwalker. I think that's quite good. Vladimir says, I think I need cerebral enrichment. Vladimir, we all need cerebral enrichment. Manuel Gordillo says, the graph shows us the long journey of the brain through our lifetime. That's good. Anawat says, the plasticity has skyrocketed. So neuroplasticity, Anawat, neuroplasticity or plasticity skyrockets during childhood or skyrockets sharply during childhood. then it declines dramatically. I wouldn't say, it does decline dramatically, you're right. That's a bit scary, isn't it? During the adult age. Right. Pachu says neuroplasticity increases as a baby develops or grows, but it decreases with higher ages. Correct. Sleepwalker's female. I don't know. How am I supposed to know that? Adulthood reveals a rapid decline. Very good. When you get older, the curve starts to raise, increasing quickly and staying firm for longer. Brilliant. All right then, folks. I'm going to tell you what I understand from this graph. So listen to the words that I use to explain this graph in natural English. So, measuring our neuroplasticity, when life begins as a baby, plasticity is actually 0 because obviously when you are 0 seconds old, you have no neuroplasticity, you can't learn anything. And probably within the first few days of life, you can't particularly learn that much either. You're just focused on being alive. So there's not a great deal to learn. Maybe learn how to take milk. And as the brain develops throughout infancy and childhood, we can see a steady increase in neuroplasticity, which increases as the brain matures and as we go through childhood. In later childhood, we see neuroplasticity peak. This is the peak time when people can basically learn new skills. And this whole period of development and increase in neuroplasticity is sometimes called the critical period. And this is used in language learning to talk about when it's a good time to learn new languages, basically. Then we see a dramatic decrease, a dramatic drop, in fact, from our peak neuroplasticity as we move into adult age and later old age. A little bit scary. However, there's some good news. We've got our fantastic cerebral enrichment. So what could that possibly mean? Basically, with cerebral enrichment, we're able to stave off the decrease in neuroplasticity which we would otherwise suffer. So, how do we stave off that decrease in neuroplasticity? What is this cerebral enrichment? Cerebral enrichment is something like learning English. That's right, folks. If you are learning English as an adult learner, you are practicing cerebral enrichment. Learning a new language is a form of cerebral enrichment. It is a form of staving off this decline in neuroplasticity. So this is one of the major benefits of learning a language as an adult. It actually keeps your brain younger so that you're more able to adapt and learn new things as you get older. It keeps your brain young. That's fantastic. Isn't that a great benefit? Type in the chat, what do you think about that? And by the way, smash that like button, hit subscribe. Make sure you join our awesome community. Link in the chat. So if you are interested in this, you can learn more about this study from Bilingualism. It's called The Bilingual Adaptation, How Minds Accommodate Experience. That was in the Psychological Bulletin. And basically it shows that bilingual individuals exhibit enhanced cognitive flexibility, creative thinking, and it emphasizes the improvement in brain functioning and neuroplasticity due to language learning. So check that out. That was a study from 2020. And actually you can see these kinds of results replicated in many studies of this kind. Okay, we are going to move on to our next activity. This one's tricky. Are you ready? You need to get your brain ready for this. Get your brain ready for this. Are you ready, Tarquin? Get your brain ready for this. It's memory. Do you have a good memory? Do you have a good memory? I'm speaking to you, Manuel Gordillo. No, not really. I'm speaking to everyone. Do you have a good memory? Let's find out. I'm going to show you a picture and you have about 10 seconds to remember it. About 10 seconds to remember it. Ready? No screenshots, no photos, no cheating. Okay, go. 10 seconds. Done. Okay, are you ready? Here's the questions. So, answer the questions in the chat. Answer the questions in the chat. Who's got the best memory? Look at the questions. What can you answer in the chat? The questions are, number 1, what colour was the space? The space? Am I having a brain information here? What colour was the space? It's the spade. The spade. Sorry. What colour was the spade? Number 2, how many insects were there? Number 3, how many candles were there? Number 4, what was in the bottom right? Number 5, how many animals were there? Not insects, other animals. Number 6, what kind of pen was there? And number 7, how many spots did the butterfly have? Type your answers in the chat. Let's see who's got the best memory. So we've got a few answers coming in. Pallavi, Aulia, Anawat, Mina says, oh my God. This is a bit tough for you, Mina. Vladimir says 1 candle. Maria Cardamon, very good. By the way, everybody, we just broke a record on concurrent viewers. We hit 41 viewers. It's the most concurrence that we've had. The previous maximum was 39. So well done. Thank you for that. Smash that like button, hit subscribe. Hello to everyone who's new. Welcome to ProfRich. We stream on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And you should join our brilliant community. You can see the link to that in the chat. It's bit.ly/inglearnchat. bit.ly/inglearnchat. And it's a really good, lovely, lovely community. Check it out. You guys are pretty good at this, I have to say. I'm quite impressed. You've got 30 seconds to finish up, and Pallavi's having a cry. Come on, Pallavi. You ready for some answers? The colour of the spade was green. How many insects were there? 3. How many candles were there? 1. What was in the bottom right? It's a cow. How many animals were there? 3. What kind of pen was it? It's a feather pen or a quill. And how many spots did the butterfly have? 4. And there's the answers again. And there's the picture again, if you want to see it. Did anyone get everything right? So I'm going to read you some interesting information about this. Bilingual individuals often show better memory skills, including enhanced memory and the ability to concentrate more effectively, filtering out distractions. And while we're talking about memory, can you remember what I just said? Have a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Type your answers in the chat. Can you remember what I just said? It can be surprisingly difficult to remember what someone just said. It can be surprisingly difficult, especially to remember the exact words. What you find is that when you listen to someone talking, you often hear the information and then you put your own words on the information. So you kind of change the words as you listen to it. It's quite interesting. How do I sharpen my memory? Says Pallavi. Well, I just told you. Be a bilingual person. Hey, everybody, hit like. Hit like. Hit the thumb up. Like. Hit like on the video. Hit like on the video, folks, please. And hit subscribe. My name is ProfRich. And we're talking about the benefits to learning English. Coda Neil says, what's this? Can my native language, so can I accept? I don't understand, Coda. Can you rephrase what you said? Because I don't quite understand your question. All right, so here's the answers for this. It's bilingual. I think I said individuals, but maybe people. Show better memory abilities, including enhanced memory and the ability to concentrate more effectively, filtering out distractions. So bilingual people or individuals' abilities, concentrate, and distractions. All right. So if you got all those, well done. I don't think anyone did. If you want to know more about that, here's a relevant study. This is from Lual Craik et al. And it's bilingualism interacts with domain in working memory task. Evidence from aging. And that's from Psychology and Aging. And basically the research demonstrates that bilingualism provides a cognitive advantage in memory. So you're learning English, you're improving your memory. You wanted an answer to that, Pallavi. The answer is study English more. You can improve your memory. And just some other information. Basically, learning a second language delays the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's. So learning a second language basically helps to prevent really terrible diseases. You do not want to get dementia and Alzheimer's. It's not good. So take your vitamin D supplements and learn English. Also, we see that people who learn second languages have superior multitasking and decision-making. Bilinguals excel in multitasking due to practice in switching between languages. And as you might expect, bilingual people also show enhanced communication and listening skills. Learning a second language involves mastering not just vocabulary and grammar, but also the nuances of effective communication. Actually, I am a communicative language teacher. I don't just teach you words and grammar. I'm teaching you how to communicate effectively. That's an important part of learning a language, is becoming a good communicator, right? That's why I don't bang on about grammar so much. The important thing is, can I see that this person understands what I'm saying? And then can I explain what I want to say? And then can I understand what they're saying? And can I ask for clarification? And so on and so on. It's all about effective communication. That's pretty much the most important thing about learning a language. And Manuel Gordillo knows it because he's a good communicator. Needs to be a better listener, though. Good speaker. All right. Also, we got this idea of boosting mental resilience and academic achievement. So basically, you'll do better at school. And mental resilience is kind of this determination. Because learning a language is really hard. Really hard. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. Just to get to intermediate is a massive, massive success. Okay, and you can find out more about that. This is a study related to that. And finally, we are moving on to homework. So this is the homework task that I gave last week. Take a look at that. The homework assignment was, what is your favorite topic which Prof Rich has never done a lesson on? Record yourself talking for 2 minutes and send the audio to me on our chat server. You could consider areas of English like vocabulary, grammar, different contexts, or different themes such as movies, family, holidays, etc. We're not going to start with Manuel. Sorry, Manuel, we're not going to start with you. We will get to Manuel because he did submit this one, but we're going to start with Julia. All right, let's have a listen. Julia Hita, you're up.
Let me share the scenario of our trip. Frankly speaking, we would like to travel around the world if money is not an object.
This doesn't sound like the homework. Have I got the wrong audio here? You're showing details of a trip?
During the prolonged COVID-19 lockdown and travel restriction, we put our trip plan at the back burner. On the other side of the spectrum, our craving desire for travel is unstoppable and uncontrollable amidst the relentless chaos of our daily and quotidian routine. At the same time, we would like to shy away from a constant burst of city activity. Indeed, we all are insatiable mood of wanderlust hitting the road. Our group is formed with talented individuals.
Let's just go back a little bit.
Indeed, we all are insatiable mood of wanderlust hitting the road.
What was that? We are was it insatiable?
Wanderlust hitting the road. Indeed, we all are insatiable mood of wanderlust hitting the road.
I'm not quite getting that. We are an insatiable amount of wanderlust or something? What are we saying there? It's difficult pronunciation. I'm trying to get it. I can't quite get it. Coda says, how do I change my mother tongue to English? You can't really change your mother tongue. I've never heard of anyone changing their mother tongue. And that includes, I have a Ukrainian student who has switched her main language from Russian to Ukrainian. But her native language is still Russian, right? And even though the languages are quite similar, you can't really change your mother tongue. An insatiable mood of wanderlust hitting the road. Okay. An insatiable mood of wanderlust. I think part of the problem with that, Julia, that I'm struggling with is that it's not a very strong collocation. It's kind of something I've not really heard before, those terms together, and they're all quite complicated terms. An insatiable mood of wanderlust is, not strong collocation. So that's part of the problem. And the other one is, I wasn't quite getting the pronunciation. Let me listen again.
Indeed, we all are insatiable mood of wanderlust hitting the road.
An insatiable mood of wanderlust for hitting the road. Okay.
Our group is formed with talented individuals such as technophile, bibliophile, both smart and street smart. Our trip was sponsored by the philanthropist, who is known for his enormous acts of kindness and his acts became his new modus operandi. Initially, we are torn apart between road trip and air travel, but on a lighter note, we choose road trip as we would like to explore the nature and the scenery view. Our road trip via of not only the well-trodden path but also the winning roads, along with a playlist of Electric Jones providing the soundtrack to our adventure. Further along the journey towards beach, located off the beaten track, that allow of a distant waterfall recon, we make a spontaneous decision and plunge into a crystal clear water, transforming our trip into a moment of pure and planned joy. During our 3-night stay at the beach hotel, we gather around a crackling campfire under a star-studded sky and spend the evening reveling in the pleasure of each other's company. In broad daylight, we also discover a sense of relief and fulfillment, having a blast, snorkeling, surfing and toughing at the reefs. All in all, it was a real action-packed journey and full of thrilling moments from the beginning to the end.
You see how some of your pronunciation was not perfect on things like a real action-packed journey, but because it's a strong collocation, then I understand it without problems. So that's really the power of learning collocations, that when you learn collocations, then I kind of know what they are, so I don't need to hone in so much on specific pronunciation points, because when you say like action packed or something, and it's like action packed, right, I get it, I can understand that, because it's, those words go together and we expect them quite a lot. So loads of excellent vocabulary there from Julia. Obviously her vocabulary is just incredibly good, incredibly strong, and she shows it off quite a lot as usual. It's the pronunciation that could do a bit of a work, but that's okay. It's not that bad. It's pretty good pronunciation, actually. It's particularly connected speech would be a good area for you to work on, Julia. Connected speech, so practicing phrases together, connected together. And I'm not sure about the topic. I was a bit lost. The topic was about a recent trip of yours, a holiday. So it was supposed to be about topics that I hadn't covered, as in you kind of making a suggestion for a future stream. But to be honest, maybe I didn't explain that very well. So I guess it's my fault. Sorry about that. But lovely submission. Thank you, Julia. And also, I want to say welcome to Julia, who is now a moderator on the channel. And she's making her presence known. That's fantastic. All right, folks, let's move on. Who have we got next? I need a template here. Boom, boom. If you would like to submit homework, then you need to join our Discord server, and the link to do that is down below the video or in the chat on the right. Oh, I can give you the notes for today as well. I haven't done that yet. So I'll post the link in the chat now where you can download the notes from today. And we have Anawat.
Hello, Teacher Rich and everyone. Today, I want to discuss my favorite topic that Prof. Rich has never done a lesson on, culture shock and reverse culture shock. So, basically, culture shock occurs when you feel a bit lost in a new culture. It's not just about language, but everything around you. Imagine trying to figure out new social rules, traditions, and how people communicate. It's like being in a big puzzle. On the flip side, reverse culture shock happens when you return home after being in a different culture. Suddenly, things that used to be normal feel a bit strange. It's like your home has changed while you were away. Talking about this in English is exciting because we can share opinions on these cultural differences. Rich, I'm sure you are acquainted with this, having experienced it while living in Spain, Vietnam, or any other countries that you have visited. Sharing these stories helps us understand how language is super important when we are in a new place or transitioning back home. A noteworthy example comes to mind from my trip to India, where drivers honked their horns out of habit. I was told they might choose to repair the horn before the brakes. When I returned to Thailand, I caught myself honking like people in India. However, it suddenly dawned on me that an unwritten rule in Thailand, unnecessary honking might earn you a VIP ticket to the next life, thanks to our considerate drivers.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, exploring culture shock and reverse culture shock is like taking a journey into how language and culture mix. I hope we can talk more about this in class. Thanks for listening, and let's have fun learning together.
All right, that's really cool, Anawat. Thank you for that. Talking about how language and culture mix. Super interesting, yeah. What was that you said? Repair the what? Repair the pond? I'm not so sure about that. But excellent vocabulary in general. I just missed that thing about repairing the horn, was it? I'm trying to get it from the context, but just not so sure. The horn. Oh, was it the horn? So yeah, from the context, I probably would have said horn. Yeah, I'm not sure why I couldn't understand that. The other thing was I noticed a little bit of the versus were. I think you said like reverse or something. So your v should be stronger. Look at my mouth. V. Go on, I'll go full screen. V. Very, 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 very. Rave. Very, very rave. Very wavy. Okay, enough of that. So vert and were, watch out for that. All right, let's move on. Who's next? Who is the next victim? Student. Today we are learning English. We're practicing English vocabulary. We're learning about English grammar. Right now I am correcting your homework, your English homework. Elena.
Hello everyone. I've chosen the following topic, 3 days in London. I take part in the stream's lessons about a year and a half. It could be that a similar topic has already been discussed. It's of course a wonder that we can research on the internet some information and read everything. 3 days in London. How do I imagine that? I would have liked to have been told about 3 important sites: Buckingham Palace, the National Gallery, and the Theatre Royal, Covent Garden. You might contradict. You can find all this on the internet. Yes, that's right. But when our relatives and friends go on trips, we are very curious and listen with interest to their stories. I would definitely be interested in some data, some pictures, but also emotions and feelings of our teacher Rich. Thank you so much.
Just going to listen to that last bit again.
Hello everyone. I would definitely be interested in some data, some pictures, but also emotions and feelings of our teacher Rich. Thank you so much.
Right, okay, so basically Elena asking there for what recommendations on places to go in London specifically or in England in general. So basically some sort of you're basically requesting a class on tourism recommendations. I can definitely do that. I'd just like to know specifically, are you talking about London or England in general or what we're looking at? It's quite a common topic. It's one that I've kind of avoided, but I'm more than happy to do it. Anyway, Eleanor, you have brilliant pronunciation. Very clear. Your connected speech could be better. You often speak with isolated words. But super clear. It's super clear. In fact, some teachers would actually reward you for speaking like that because it sounds like more formal, I guess, or clearer. but it will be nicer for it to be a bit more fluid or natural by having some more connected speech. So look out for connected speech. Otherwise, excellent work. And could I just ask you to clarify, what did you mean exactly about the tourism recommendations? Do you mean England or London, or what was the topic you were after? And we're going to move on now to our final candidate, or final victim of the day. Candidate of the day. Learner of the day. Which is Gordillo. MG. It's now going to be called MG. All right, MG. And while we're listening to MG, you can have a think about any questions that you have about learning English. Type your questions in the chat and I will do my best to answer.
Morning, afternoon, evening. How are everybody? Let's go. The homework for this week is talking about something that the teacher had never done. Well, were I to learn something good, will be pretty much criminal vocabulary and how work the code and the justice in several parts of the world, or maybe how work and the running for a president all around the world. But I am not alone in this class, so my favorite one is the crime vocabulary. And why? Because keep in mind one thing: if you are watching the TV, the news, for example, in Spain, the more known is whereabout unknown. Whereabout unknown. Whereabout unknown meaning nobody knows where these persons are. In this world, the word, the math, how word. Keep in mind that the vocabulary for criminal, crime, and slaughter, detective, slaughter, jury, stand. There is something talking about the lawyer, attorney, and so on. Something like all of us need to know. If you are watching TV, sometimes there is a news absolutely talking about a crime, or a felony, a robbery. So I recommend that he try a little talking about the use in UK, the use in Spain, because Spain, of course, and about all the USA. Okay. And another question is he never talk about the politic term. It's a cruel reality. We need to know the vocabulary of the politics term. How is running for election, for example. He's a member of parliament, who is the PM. So I am inclined to believe that the teacher don't touch this is such of topic, because we are in a madhouse, and here in Spain is different. Korea, China, Japan, Philippines, Romania, and so on, in order to avoid several discrepancies about the peers. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, and happy weekend.
Thank you, Manuel. Absolutely fantastic. Lovely to hear your thoughts, and very interesting thoughts they are. So you can see the good vocabulary there that I've highlighted from Manuel on the left, all around the world. I'm not alone in this class. Keep in mind. Manuel says keep in mind every 10 seconds. So, Manuel, you need some new phrases for keep in mind. Take into consideration, think about this, bear in mind, remember this. You have to consider, right? Not just keep in mind. All of us need to know. We need to know who's running for election, and don't touch this kind of topic. Excellent. Let's have a look at some corrections. So, something the teacher had never told. Nope. Something the teacher had never talked about. Okay. How work the justice? No. How justice works in several parts of the world. The more known in Spain is whereabouts unknown. No. The most known in Spain is whereabouts unknown. And actually, we'd probably say famous, but okay. There is a new on TV. No, please. There is a news story or a piece of news on TV. In order to avoid. No. In order to avoid. Let's go. Let's go. Get a hard let's go. Let's go. My favorite one is the justice. The vocabulary. And then we got judge, jury. So you mean like law, maybe. The law vocabulary. Favorite one is law without the law vocabulary. Legal. Say legal as well. Favorite one is legal vocabulary. Talking about the Jews in Spain, the laws, was it? The laws or the justice? The justice. Not the Jews. The laws or the justice in Spain. Okay, so a few corrections there for Manuel, but excellent, really good, well done. Could you give a score on the homework? Maybe we'll do that in future. All right, folks, we are on to questions and answers. So any questions that you have right now, you can ask me in the chat and I'll do my best to help you. You've got about 10 minutes of questions. So does anyone have any questions right now about how to learn English better? Anything about English pronunciation? How to improve your vocabulary in English? How to learn English better? This is an English class online with Teacher Rich about how to learn English. We're talking today about how to learn English. We're talking about how learning English affects your brain, learning languages in general, more specifically, learning English. Neil, are you from IELTS Undercover? What's that, sorry? Coda. This lesson is not fantastic. It is Coca-Colastic. I'm not sure what Coca-Colastic means, but thank you, Coda. And Neil, I'm very happy to hear that. Meow Meow says, are you from IELTS Undercover? Meow Meow, where are you from? Okay, I'm sort of getting a bit stuck here. Does anyone have any questions for me? It is nice to see people talking in the chat, though. Make sure you join our excellent community, bit.ly/EngLearnChat, so this English Learner Chat. And when you join that server on Discord, you have to go to the rules and react to the rules, and then you get access to the full server. So Aulia and Siri, you haven't reacted to the rules, so you don't have access to the server. You need to react to the rules on the server with a tick. Donk. Coda says, I'm sharing your channel with my friends. Mr. Neil, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Anyone who shares, if you have friends who are learning English, please do share the channel. Only with friends who are learning English. You don't need to share it with anyone else. This channel is for English learners, especially people who are interested in interesting topics, because I'm all about interesting topics. Rich, can you say something in RP? Sleepwalker, my accent is pretty close to RP these days anyway, primarily from 15 years of language teaching. I pretty much teach to an RP accent. The main difference with my accent and RP is that I often use, I'll show you. Bum 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 bum. Okay, just getting the correct symbol there. So I often use that symbol there, which you can't even see, so that's absolutely useless. Okay, that's not working. Is there a way I can... there we go. So I often use that one. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it super big. Instead of this one, the fat A. That one. And the reason is because I'm from the north of England, and in the north of England we use this sound on the left, sound number 1, instead of sound number 2. So we would say like must instead of must. So you'll often hear that I say things like must when the RP is must. That's the main difference with my accent and RP. Nice vocabulary is my cup of tea, says Julia. Yep. Teacher, are you busy these days? You don't play the game on the server. Yeah, I don't really like that game, to be honest with you, Pilavi. I'm sorry. But it's there anyway for people to play if they want. Yeah, different accents in the UK is interesting, Sleepwalker. Like the accent in Liverpool, for example. Do you want to go down the pub for a few bevies? Do you see that goal by Gerrard? Do you see the goal, lad? Do you see the goal by Gerrard? Hey lad, can I bum a ciggy, lad? Can I bum a ciggy? You got a ciggy, lad? That's the accent in Liverpool. People love that. UK accent is hard. Whether the accent is hard depends on your perspective. British accent is not harder than the United States accent. It's just a case of which you learn. It's not harder. The British isn't harder than the American is not harder than the British. It's simply a question of which one you're more familiar with. Can you pronounce conscientiousness? I absolutely can. Conscientiousness. 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 Conscientiousness, which means the quality of being hard-working and organized, basically. It's hard to pronounce. Conscientiousness, it's not that hard. Conscientiousness. 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 Hint says, I can't figure anything from your Liverpool accent, and I will study there. I'm worried now. Well, Hint, in the university, the professors will have kind of more of a neutral and international accent, but you might find that people on the street are quite difficult to understand at first. Where are you from, lad? Where are you from? In Liverpool, we just speak a little bit like this, that's all. You'll get used to it. Does blah, blah, blah mean what? No, blah, blah, blah means etc., etc., etc. What is brown sugar? It's brown sugar. It's kind of sugar that's less refined. So the natural plant for sugar is kind of brown. So if you get brown sugar, then it's actually less refined than white sugar. There you go. Brown sugar. That's brown sugar. Has a stronger taste. Blah, blah, blah and talking gibberish is the same thing. Not exactly, meow, meow. Blah, blah, blah just means and so on and so on and so on. It means I can't be bothered saying the next bit, right? Like, let's talk about all the colours. Red, yellow, purple, orange, blah, blah, blah. What's the difference between motivation and motives? Motivation is the general concept. Motives are individual reasons why someone does something. So, I have a motive to learn Vietnamese. Chào mừng ai độc lập. Chào mừng năm ơi. Chào mừng năm ơi. Oh, Daisy's not here today to hear my Vietnamese. Chào mừng năm ơi. And my new one, which is come tick, 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 come tick. Ăn tick cà phê soda. I heard brown sugar is illegal. What? Where is brown sugar illegal, Pallavi? Unless you mean a drug, heroin. I think there's some discussion that a certain song by the Rolling Stones is talking about heroin. But I don't know. I think Stan means state, doesn't it? Stan. Like Uzbekistan is like the state of Uzbeki. Rich, do you have offline students as well? Yes, Sleepwalker. I work at an institution of learning. Actually, arguably, I work for the British government, the public sector. Well, no, I do actually. I get I get paid by the taxpayer. Thank you, British taxpayer. But yeah, I do have offline students. I've been teaching for 15 years. I've taught offline, online. But I really enjoy teaching in a real classroom. I enjoy streams, but there's no substitute for a real classroom. And Takeshi Sero says, MI6. Very secret. Yeah. No. Not MI6. Not quite. Anawat says, how to improve intonation and rhythm to sound natural. Anawat, your intonation's really good. I think that's not really an area you need to work on. So don't worry about it. Yours is good. If you want to improve further, it's quite difficult, actually, because your intonation is really good and sounds super friendly as well. I would just relax on that, Anawat. If anything, I think your intonation sounds a bit forced. So actually, I think for you, maybe you want to take your foot off the pedal a little. Like, just speak a bit more without thinking about it. Because your intonation is good. Pallavi, it sounds like heroin, the drug. It's a very serious Class A drug. Highly addictive. That's the only thing I could think of. Do you teach at East Sussex College? Interesting. Interesting question. Brown sugar is healthier than white sugar. Why do you think that is, Mina? Yeah, I think Meow Meow should change your name. And is that Pavia? I'm not sure who you are, but just be careful there. Let's not get too doxy. Rich, what's the main difference between exhibition and exhibit? That's a good question. That is a really good question, actually. Give me a moment there. I need some research on this one. That's great, Meow Meow. I appreciate that. Just be careful because there's like hundreds of people who watch these videos. So we'll keep personal information to a minimum, if that's all right. So exhibition is often about a public display, presentation, or collection of items or artworks. An exhibit, on the other hand, typically refers to an individual item or a specific piece. So I'll just type that for you, that an exhibition refers to a public display or presentation of a collection of items or artworks. And an exhibit typically refers to an individual item or a specific piece within an exhibition. By the way, I am updating these notes live, so if you go down below the video, you can see a link to these notes where you can access that. We want to learn English from a native English speakers. So can you open offline classes in Karakoram, Pakistan? Hey, I don't know, Coda. Maybe you need to speak to your government about offering visas. I'm not sure how you get a visa for Uzbekistan. So, yeah, I don't know. If the British Council open a centre there, then I'll think about it in the future. How about that? Can anyone tell me who's this Pavia guy? I think Meow Meow, people think that you're Pavia because Pavia had a reputation for changing her name. But yes, I think I know who you are now. You're not, obviously not Pavia. Pavia's not a guy. She's one of the moderators on the channel. Pallavi says, please teach at my college, teacher. I can't be everywhere at once, Pallavi. Sorry about that. If you've enjoyed the lesson today, everybody, smash that like button. I appreciate the support and I appreciate the questions. It's been my pleasure. Today, we hit a new record of concurrent viewers, so very happy about that. Did you learn Spanish on YouTube? No, I didn't, Sleepwalker. I learned Spanish through self-study, and later I learned it from living in the country. It took a lot of effort, but it taught me a lot in the early days of being a teacher. It taught me a lot about how to learn a language. Oh, by the way, let's have some new homework. We need some new homework for next week. All right, folks, you ready to see the homework? Let's see what we got. And the deadline for this will be the 25th. And that's not going to be the homework. Just give me a second here. You can see that we're highly professional at ProfRich English. Everything is prepared 100% in advance. You know, if there's one thing that ProfRich is good at, it's attention to detail. Let's have a look here. Research and case study analysis. Ugh, no. Create an infographic poster or short presentation. Ooh, yes. Find an infographic related to today's topic, which is the positive effects of learning language on your brain. Record a 2-minute audio explaining the infographic and give your thoughts and give your reaction to it. Send the audio and infographic to me on our chat server, which is bit.ly/englearnchat. You could use Google Images for research. You could check the word infographic in a dictionary and on Google. Don't worry if you don't know what to say. Just say anything. Don't make a script. I just want you to speak spontaneously. So that's our homework assignment for next week. Check it out and we will correct those live on stream. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name's been Teacher Rich, and I want to say have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Have a great week. I'll see you on Wednesday, hopefully. I'll definitely see you on Saturday. And we're getting ready for Christmas, gearing up for the winter festivities. And yeah, it's been fun, and I will catch you later. Smash that like button right now. Dong! Bye-bye, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye now.